What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Sanjay Suresh. I'm a 17-year-old junior in high school, but in my free time, I like to run a few reselling businesses. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about how much profit I made in 2020. Alright, so we're just gonna get right into it. 2020 was definitely not my best year for selling on Amazon. I did about $92,000 in revenue, and I ended up making just over $10,000 in profit. But I'll get into the specific numbers in a little bit. The reason my business didn't do that well is a few different things. So the first, one of the biggest things is that I took the first 4 months of 2020 off from working on my Amazon account almost completely to work on other things, including eBay and just clearing out all my old inventory which had to be sold on eBay. A lot of it was either broken or had some functionality issue, some defect, or it was just stuff I was restricted for on Amazon. So all that stuff had to go on eBay. I only really started working on my Amazon account in May of 2020 after those first 4 months of the year were gone. The second biggest reason that my profits were lower in 2020 was that I sold a lot of items at losses, and I talked about this in one of my recent videos, but basically I had to liquidate older inventory stuff that had been sitting for 1 to 2 years, and it really just wasn't profitable anymore, and there wasn't a point of holding it. I had a lot of textbooks, so I let those go during like August and September, October, and those 2 months, September and October, I actually didn't make any profit. I actually lost $1,500 during those 2 months, which is pretty bad. But overall, on the textbooks that I bought, which, you know, some of them sold for loss, some of them sold for profit, I think overall net positive. So it's fine, but there was also like a lot to learn from that. Now let's get into some of these specific numbers, including like returns, fees, all that other stuff. So we're gonna start right at the top. Our revenue for the year is about $93,400. That's every shipped order for the year. I had a total of $2,600 in returns. I got almost $600 in reimbursements. I got $325 in shipping credits. That's money I got for expedited orders. I offer $9 expedited shipping for merchant fulfilled orders, so $324 from mostly that, but also in some areas like Alaska and Hawaii, I think shipping is charged to those customers, so that's also included. And then we've got some of the like miscellaneous FBA fees, so the shipping credit, and then gift wrap, promos, restocking, all that stuff. I'm just gonna bundle that into one thing because it's kind of hard to explain what those each individually are. Like the whole shipping credit thing is just, I don't know, it doesn't really matter that much since I'm doing FBA and the money will be taken out later. So anyways, we're left at $92,000 after all that stuff. And then if I look at my total expenses, so we've got $50,000 in cost of goods. That was by far the biggest expense. And then our selling fees, so that includes the referral and closing fees for each item, totaled about $14,000. And then our FBA transaction fees, that includes the fulfillment, gift wrapping, and the shipping. So the shipping credit that I talked about earlier, it's taken out here. So that's why I don't really go into detail about that. But total FBA fees, $11,500. And then we've got 30-day storage fees. I paid $500. For removal order and disposal orders, I paid about $20. So that's for getting stuff either sent from FBA to my house or just getting it destroyed because I don't want it, or I can assume that it's damaged and doesn't have any value anymore, or maybe like some expired items that I don't want back. You can just have Amazon destroy those and they charge like 10 cents per item. I spent $960 on shipping for FBA, so that's the inbound shipping cost for shipping all the big boxes from my house to Amazon's warehouses. And I spent $211 on long-term storage, so that's items that have been in warehouses for more than 90 days, I believe, or maybe it's more than 6 months. I'm not completely sure, but I definitely did have a lot of items that were in warehouses for a pretty long time. And then if I pull up my other expenses tab, I'm seeing $4,100 spent on merchant fulfilled shipping labels, and then my Amazon Pro seller account, which you will most likely pay for if you sell more than 40 items per month. That cost me almost $500 for the year. And then we've got some miscellaneous fees and refunds, which I will tally up right here. There are a few expenses that I didn't talk about, which I will cover right now. All the numbers I just read to you guys were from Inventory Lab. That's the software I use for my Amazon accounting. And it's about $500 per year. They're not sponsoring this video, but I've used their software for almost 3 years now, and it's great. It's probably one of the most commonly used Amazon software since it just makes accounting and doing taxes so much more easier. But right now, I'm pulling up a spreadsheet where I have all my deductions from 2020, which include all my supplies expenses and stuff like that. Alright, so on physical supplies like envelopes, boxes, and stuff for my office, I spent $940. That includes $160 for a new receipt scanner, $70 for a new shelf, and then you've just got your miscellaneous supplies. And then I spent $1,400 on software, so that includes $240 for Feedback Genius, which I don't use anymore, but it was a $20 per month subscription that sends emails to your customers after a few days requesting feedback. It auto inputs like their name, date, stuff like that, but it's my message template that I created. But I decided to cancel it because I wasn't really getting that much conversion, and I also spent about $200 on Keepa. That's what I use to see sales rank and price history, and then I spent about $200 on shipping through UPS and Stamps.com, which I used temporarily just to try out ShipStation, but I ended up not really liking it that much, so I decided to cancel my subscription. And then I also spent $356 on Tactical Arbitrage, which I used for 4 months, and I spent $480 on Inventory Lab. So that about covers all my expenses, leaving my profit at around like $6,000-$7,000. I'll put the exact number right here, but obviously 2020 was not that great for me. Definitely not as good as 2018-2019 when I made $20,000 to $30,000 each year. And the reason for that really is that, like I said earlier, there were a few different reasons, but also I've just been putting my time in different places outside of reselling. When I started reselling and when I was just getting really into it in 2018, this was my main hobby. This was what I spent most of my time on. But then I started doing YouTube, I started putting more content out on Instagram, I started really getting into some of my extracurriculars, and so my focus has just shifted a lot from this business. But yeah, hopefully you guys found this video informative, and if you guys have any questions about my business and selling on Amazon or just anything in general, feel free to leave them in the comments down below. That's the easiest way to contact me. I have not been checking Instagram at all. It's been about 2 months since I've really checked my account or posted anything, and I'll talk about that in a different video. But if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. It really helps with growing the channel, and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss my next video. But that's going to wrap it up for today's video. So until next time, I'll see you guys later.